What's up, Internet? This is Rambling Josh, and you're watching another episode of Let's Play Fire Emblem. Up today is Chapter 6, Blood and Pride. A bit of a... I don't know how to describe it. It's a little bit more of a jarring title than some of the previous ones. So there's lots of rulers in this place. Arafan, huh? So, this guy is so determined to become the leader of just one of those territories. He wants to rule all of Kaelin. Or no, isn't Kaelin just one of those territories? Yeah, it's one of the territories inside of Lycia. Oh, whatever. Politics. There's actually some pretty unique parts about this mission, but they're not really elements that really rear their head ever again, which is a little unfortunate, but also honestly kind of fortunate because they're kind of annoying. Anyways. Huh. Sup? Well, that's cool. That's good. It's not been too big a deal. That one mission where we were locked in the fortress with Dorcas was kind of tricky, but not a big deal at all. Well, Kent does all the politicking and Sane does all the killing. When did that happen? I mean, Kent was just there. Who are you? Indeed. You mean someone else is actually trying to assassinate me? It's not just bandits anymore? Whoa, who are you? Oh, hi there. Arga! Don't talk much, do you? He looks to be some sort of tribesman. He really doesn't talk much, does he? Why did you think you were mistaken? Did you start the fire? Huh. Captain of the guard, huh? That's very noble of you, Lynn. Wrath, huh? Now. This fellow as well. Not really. I mean, it's kind of out of the way. If he's such a vulture, why would you trust him to be in your house? Secret passageway, huh? And we never use switches again after this mission. Yeah. Okay, so The interesting thing about Wrath is he's another archer, but he's not the other archer that I was talking about previously, because there's Will, there's this other archer, and then there's Wrath. And typically you want to use either Will or the other archer, or maybe both. But probably not both. And the reason I say you don't want to use Wrath is, like, it's up to you, and you certainly can, but the primary reason not to use Wrath is just the fact that he's not available for a whole lot of time. I don't really want to say too much more than that, but basically that's it. You don't get to use him in that many missions, so it's hard to level him up much. Aside from that, though, he can actually be very useful, because for one, he's an archer, but he's also mounted. He has a horse, so that comes with a whole bunch of benefits. And he typically has for an archer, he has very high strength and defense, so he's pretty well suited to being like a front line guy, whereas archers usually aren't. And when he promotes into his next class, which isn't something I've talked about much yet, but it's something that happens in this game, he actually gains the ability to use swords, which is interesting. So he does a lot of things that archers don't, but I still don't consider him particularly useful. Which is a little weird, I know, but that's just the way it is. So anyways, if we go up to this house where that guy went earlier. Sup? Matthew, huh? I'm pretty sure we do. Why are thieves always... It seems like they always want money, but they oftentimes don't actually take it. It's a good point. Thieves are an interesting bit, but I might as well talk about them now. So, Matthew fits the Julian archetype, which is a thief who joins early on, who usually has a pretty tight relationship with one or two of the other members who join your party. Oftentimes they have that relationship with the Lena, which, if you recall, is Sarah. Sometimes they have a relationship with another archetype, which is, I think it's the Nabarl archetype, but I don't think that's the case in this game. Can I move here? No, I've got to go open the door first. That's kind of unfortunate. Oh, there's no one in this room. I thought there would be, but there's not. I really don't want to do all this yet, but the game is making me. Okay, so I guess the first order of business is we want Sane. Stab him. Wow, he's not going to do any damage back to me. And Urk, I want him out of the way. Dorcas, I want him out of the way. There's no point visiting these other houses. They can give you background information and stuff, but that's about it. And that's not really worth my time. To me, anyways. So I am not going to bother visiting them. Now, if Florina's damaged, I would like to heal her, but I can't realistically do that without putting Sarah in danger. One thing I want to look at real quick is this guy has 8 speed, which explains why... Oh, so Florina has 4 speed more than him, and that's why she's able to double attack them now. And she part of that is also just the fact that her constitution is high enough that she doesn't take a speed penalty from her Slim Lance. If she was attacking with a javelin, she wouldn't be able to double attack them. So I guess I'm just going to retreat Kent and Sarah. None of the mercenaries can reach Kent, or Sane or Florina, rather. So they're just going to finish their respective fellows off. Wait, wasn't she doing 6 damage before? Oh, he's in a forest, okay. That explains it. There's a chest. I don't want to get the chest right now, though. I don't want to get the chest right now. I want to do other things first. Stupid tutorial. Oh well. Chests are important. So, one of the biggest things that thieves can do is they have the ability to open chests and doors, which can be very handy. And the Angelic Robe, as Matthew is saying, is a permanent stat boosting item. Angelic Robes have the ability to increase health. And that's pretty handy. Oh wow, Lockpicks only have 15 durability? So what I think I'm going to do now is bring Florina up here to visit this house. One door key. So with the use of keys, normal units can actually open doors or chests if they have a chest key or a door key respectively. But normally it's often better to have a thief open it. For one thing, because lockpicks are cheaper and easier to find than keys. But for another, it also means you don't have to have another one of your characters who's supposed to be doing battle. You don't have to have one of them carting around a key in their inventory, which takes up space in the inventory. Now, do I want to use this Angelic Robe on him? I don't think I do. I think I'll go for the southern door first. And obviously I was just contemplating attacking that guy with Matthew, which, despite the fact that he does not have a weapon triangle advantage against him. Can't quite reach that guy. Let's go like this. And I consider it to be pretty important to level up Matthew for a couple of reasons. Let's actually move up here first. I'm being wary of the area inside these doors because you never know when there's going to have like an archer in there. And I honestly can't recall if they can shoot you if you can't see them. Oh, I forgot to talk to Sarah. But anyways, there's a couple of reasons it's important to level up Matthew. The first is that thieves actually have the ability to steal. As surprising as that is, they're the only ones who can do it, and you can get some pretty impressive items from stealing. But the thing is, how far can this guy attack? I don't think he's going to move away from the door, but yeah. So the thing about the whole stealing thing is that in order to do it, your thief has to get right up in the face of the person in question. And if your thief is not leveled up at all, obviously that's going to be pretty dangerous. So you don't really want to take that chance if you don't have to. And that's a pretty bad way of phrasing it, sorry. What I mean to say is, you might as well, like, if they're just going to die after stealing the item, that's not going to help anybody. So it's in your best interest to level them up a little bit so that they don't die immediately. But beyond that, I find it to be especially important to level up Matthew for a couple of reasons. I mentioned early on that there are 3 modes to this game. There's Lynn's mode, there's Eliwood's mode, and there's Hector's mode. So Lynn's mode is kind of like the common thread between them. But after Lynn's mode, your experience and stats carries over into whatever mode you choose next, whether it be Hector or Eliwood's mode. Although I can't do Hector's mode because I haven't beaten this game yet. Like, I've beaten Fire Emblem before, but not on this emulator. And the reason I bring this all up is because when you finish Lynn's mode, your characters don't just automatically join you at the start of the next mode that you choose. So what that means is that when you start off Elliewood or Hector's mode, just leave the same there for the moment, you're almost starting over again. So you're starting off with a new set of characters who are probably somewhat low level. Things ramp up a lot quicker than they do in Lynn's mode, but none of the characters that you spent the time leveling up in Lynn's mode are with you right off the bat. And Matthew is one of those characters who does start... You get them very soon. So having him be a decent level when you do get him can be pretty handy. And this is especially true of Hector's mode. Because without any real... trying to avoid, spoilers and stuff, the first mission that you fight with Hector is different from the first mission that you fight with Elliewood. And in the first mission in Hector's mode, it's just Hector and Matthew against like 8 or 10 enemies. And having the two of them, without any ability to level them up Hector prior to that, can be very hard. So the more that Matthew can contribute to that fight, it makes a big difference in the long run. So if you are planning to go Hector's mode, it's a very good idea to spend some time leveling up Matthew. So I mentioned previously that the Julian archetype, aka Matthew, and the Lena archetype, aka Sarah, often have a relationship. And Sarah and Matthew can talk to each other right off the bat. They seem to know something of each other. So, open up this door. And... oh, weird. So I can face the boss before even opening up all the switches. The actual victory condition is the switches. Oh shoot, he can attack Florina. Does this guy have a javelin? No, he has a steel lance. They'll often give bosses javelins and such, because it allows them to attack from 2 spaces away, which is desirable because otherwise it is pretty easy to exploit the fact that they normally can't do that, if that made any sense. What I think I'm going to do is run Florina away a little bit. And then this guy has a 5 movement range. 1, 2, 3, 4... 1, 2, 3... how much damage does he do? 3 strength, 6, 9. Okay, I'm just gonna put Lynn here. Because I know he's gonna go after Sierra. I just want to make sure that he's not gonna kill her. She doesn't have any way of healing herself without using a vulnerary, is the issue here. So now what I'm gonna do is have Florina. Let's attack with the javelin. It doesn't let me do a double attack, but I can kind of extend the use of my Slim Lance a little bit by doing that. And now Matthew can finish this guy off. It's usually kind of hard to level up thieves just because they're not made for combat, basically. Their purpose is to open doors and chests. I just realized that there's a chest, like a graphic of the chest in that battle there. That's kind of fun. So Matthew got some HP from that level up, so that means I can heal him. Okay. And actually, since killing the boss doesn't end this battle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and attack this guy. Now, this guy, he's a knight. a proper knight, and you might notice he has some pretty heavy armor. And what that means is that being a knight, he has a lot of defense. 10. That's a ton. If we look at Lynn, okay, well, she can do 13 damage. Normally her strength isn't that high, but even then, that means that she's only doing 3 damage to this guy, who has 26 health. That's a ton, and he has 18 attack, which means that she would be taking 11 in return, which is, again, a ton. You could wear him down like that, using Sarah to heal with, which actually might not be a bad idea. That'd be a good way to grind out some words. Experience. That's the word. I don't know why that was so hard to come up with. I think I'm actually going to end up doing that, come to think of it. But if you're just looking to kill him, there's 2 ways to go about it. The first is you'll notice that he has 0 resistance, which means that attacking him with Urk is a good idea. Urk has 10 attack at level 1, and he has 7 speed. Knights tend to be very slow. Yeah, 2 speed, so Urk's probably going to attack him twice. The one thing is that mages tend to have very low constitution. He has 5, so he can wield his fire tome without losing any penalties, so he would be doing 20 damage to this guy, which is pretty significant. The other way you can kill him is that if you look at the Manikadi, it says effective against infantry? I guess that counts? You'll notice that the Manikadi is glowing, and that means that it's doing extra damage against this enemy. So you can see that it says 12 times 2, which is quite a bit of damage, and let's see, normally the Manikadi has an attack of 16. So against his 10 defense, that would normally mean 6 damage, but because the Manikadi is especially effective against knights, I think it's just knights. I don't know what it means by infantry. Yeah, like it doesn't do extra damage against this soldier, but basically the Manikadi does double damage against knights. So that's also a very good way to take him out. But as I said, I think I'm gonna go the heal spam route, but I'm gonna wait until I kill this guy first to do it. And actually, an interesting thing to note about this battle is that you actually don't have to kill this boss at all if you don't want to. Which is actually pretty interesting, because it means that there's the first time they introduce you to a knight, which knights are often some of the most problematic units because they are so hard to kill. But the first time they introduce you to one, it's not actually imperative that you kill it. That's interesting. So I'm going to heal him up. And then I'm actually going to take this door key from Matthew. I gotta use that angelic robe on someone, but I'm not entirely sure who. I'll probably give it to Sarah, actually. Matthew is a good option to use it on. He mentioned that he kind of suggested that when you got it, but I think Sarah's the better option. I think she probably has the lowest health, maybe not in the game, but definitely among the characters that we're going to be using. And Florina's going to use one of these door keys to open that up. Oh wait, you do actually have to kill this boss because he's standing on the last switch. Okay. Matthew can get this last chest. Armor Slayer, okay. That's another way to kill this knight. Just like the Manikadi, it's especially effective against armored units. I don't think Matthew can wield it. He uses swords, but I think it requires... Oh no, he can use it. It requires a D in swords, so Kent, who I think has an E. Yeah. Oh no, he has a D in swords and an E in spears. That's weird. Okay. Ignore all those things that I said. Now I'm wondering if I might... Maybe I should face the boss with Matthew. Let's see, what level is it? 3? Maybe I'll do that to kill him, but I'm rather partial to the plan of kind of grinding out some experience like this. Mostly for Sierra's sake more than anything. There is the concern... Actually... Because he does 18 damage, she has 2 defense. He might actually just kill her. I didn't think about that. Can Florina do damage to this guy? I doubt it. 1. Can Wrath reach him? No. This might be bad, now that I think about it. Because Sarah just can't heal Lynn up high enough. Actually, what I can do... Okay, I got this. Okay. So Florina just rescued Lynn, now she's out of harm's way. So now what I'm going to do is drop her... and then heal her. So I guess in the end this just means more experience for Sarah. And this is probably going to take a while, so... I think at this point I'm just going to skip until the time where I am ultimately victorious. Okay, so that was a little bit not quite what I expected. Not that's a particularly bad thing, but I want Matthew to finish this guy off. Lynn got a critical hit. Not the end of the world. It just means it's gonna take a little bit more effort to level up Matthew. But regardless, I still want to take the time before I finish this level to heal Lynn back up to full, to maximize Sierra's experience. Because ultimately that's what this was all about. And I think she's gotten a little over a full level. Is anyone else missing any HP? I don't think they are. Now the biggest concern with doing this is the fact that Sierra's heal staff is pretty close to being broken, but we can buy a new one in the next mission. So it's not the end of the world. One advantage to this also is that I've been ending every turn, most turns anyways, with Florina and Lynn right next to each other, which is something that I mentioned previously, but I'll explain that a little bit later when I have more time to talk about such things. There's lots of things to explain in the early game. Anyways, let's just end this mission. So that's... the pathway has been opened. I don't know. I find it hard to trust this guy. He looks so shady. She's royalty or something. You're just the captain of the guards. Who, you know, saved the castle or something. Oh, so... what, you guys gonna try and, like, get something out of us? Well, that's not very nice. Well, what's that matter? She's got the bloodline, she just happens to look like a plainswoman. What a jerk. Hmm. So I guess that means the poison is starting to work or something. Although it's not the best poison ever if it just makes him sick. I guess he's not really sick, it's just makes it seem like he's sick. Like, he has symptoms and that's the most reasonable explanation. Well, good. Meh, it's all good. We'll make our own way. We don't need his help. Yeah, prideful savage right there. No, you're different. They do seem a bit of an odd match anyways. Like, he really doesn't seem like Wrath fits in here very well. Why does no one else see fit to help against this guy if he's so... Like, it's so obvious that he's just, like, selfish and evil and stuff. Well, that's good. Now what? Oh, Wrath is coming with us? Hmm? Gold. Gold! What, did you, like, steal it from Marcus Arafan? Where are we? I guess just outside of town? Well, whatever. With that, that is the end of this episode of Let's Play Fire Emblem. Catch you later.